I love all the ones he did. Yes, I could. That trip said 6 hours, but y'all, it was 8.5 or 9. I found all kinds of ways to sleep, and they caught me, but that's okay. I had a wonderful time. Thanks to Memorial for sending me. Frank and Philip and Kirk took good care of me. They told some of the people in South Africa that they didn't want to tell Chris they lost me. So that was one of the things. I will have to say, one time it's really different. There's a lot of different things there. Kirk was trying to help me get out of a bathroom. You went in through this bars, and coming out, I was trying to come out the wrong way. It was quite, we got to where we were laughing so hard I couldn't get out. But anyway, and another thing is thanks to Matt Bell, he upgraded me for that I could have some really on the long flight, and it is a long flight, and I really appreciated that. And I've talked to Matt about it. And my trip to South Africa was life changing, and more importantly, it was faith building. It was excellent. The students and the professors were awesome. I was not expecting to fall in love with the students like I did, but I did. Do I know all their names and can I pronounce their names? No, but they were awesome. They go to classes like we visited some of the classes Greek 1, 2, and 3, and Hebrews 1 and 2, and oh my, they are. I was like, oh, I really need to start studying some more. But the favorite part, of course, like I said, was the students, and I enjoyed it. But I am a teacher, taught for almost 40 years. I love it. And there were some teachers there. They are like Kirk just said, we talked about just now, about like we were 50 years ago. They do not have like materials in their classroom. So pretty much what I did is I took one thing, and I'm going to show you kind of what I did. I took the fruit of the Spirit, and I explained to them, even though they only have the Bible, that they can do at least 9 lessons from the fruit of the Spirit. There's a song called The Fruit of the Spirit. I taught them the song. The fruit of the Spirit's not an orange. Fruit of the Spirit's not an orange. You got an orange, you might as well eat it, 'cause it's not the fruit of the Spirit. The fruits are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Taught them the song. We went over it, and I explained to them how that they could do just from the Bible, like love. I would talk to them about Jesus feeding the 5,000. I showed the book, and then I would do songs, or I would do uh, something else that would go along with it. And they all of them got a huge packet of things material. So it wasn't that I was just talking to them and it went over their head. They could follow along. Then I did one where I talked about Zacchaeus, and this was joy. Sang the song, of course. And then, of course, I did things like what is joy. In this one, I did a little experiment. I had water, and then I said joy that comes from the Lord, and I put food coloring in it, colored the water. Then I explained happiness. Happiness is fleeting. And I put in oil, and it just sat on the top. And they all just kind of looked at it. And then later, some of the ladies wanted to talk about it. They'd never thought about it like that. So I tried to do little experiments even. So I went through all the love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and taught them how did they had. So like one lady said, finally at the end, she goes, oh, we have 9 Bible lessons here. So and I wasn't the only one. Oh, and I did things like I took sock puppets and I explained to them, and we did little activities with them, and they could just have a sock and have a puppet show. And so they seemed to like that, and they loved the songs. And I explained to them, how am I doing on time? Okay, I explained to them that if they can't remember the tune, just make it up. It's okay. The kids don't know. I don't know. I don't care. But I love the teaching. I'll have to tell you, the first meeting, the first one, the lady was like this, looking at me. And I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Finally, she told me that she really didn't want to teach kids because she didn't know how. And at the end of the thing, she told me, she says, maybe I'll try it. So I think, that little bit made me feel really good. But they were great, and they enjoyed it, and they enjoyed some of the experiments and things like that I did with them. I'd go back in a heartbeat, and I mean, I have all kinds of ideas, and I love teaching. So it was funny. We had some other, I want to say this, there are some other great people that did things too. They were really wonderful. We had about, what, 6 or 7 classes? 6 or 7 different teachers that taught different things. Now, when we were in Venda, that was different. We didn't break into classes. It was one big auditorium. The teachers stayed in the auditorium, and we talked to them. But I would have to say, okay, and this is about the fruit of the spirit, and then I have to wait while they translated. And then, I just keep on going on, and I had to figure that out. And then I would say, and this is, and then they'd have to translate. And then sometimes they'd look at me, and I could tell, okay, I've talked too fast, I've talked too much, and it was hard for them to translate. So that was an interesting thing. Also in Venda, we that was on the Saturday. On the Sunday, Kathy, who is from Oklahoma, and I were asked if we would go to this other church and observe their lesson. We thought that's what it was. We got there. There were 55 kids in one room, 3 to 15. No, 13, sorry. 3 to 13, 55 kids, one teacher, and it was kind of hot in there, I'll be honest. And also, nothing. They had one Bible that was kind of torn up, nothing. And we were in there, and we were to teach for an hour and a half. So we did all kinds of things. We taught, we went through my lessons, we went through Kathy's lessons, we did singing, we did puppets, and we were getting to the end, and we were both like, oh my, this is an hour and a half is a long time with 55 kids, guys. So I thought, oh, this is my faux pas. One thing that I really goofed on. I thought, okay, with the little ones, I'll sing Fuzzy Caterpillar. So I got up when I got all the little ones, and we were singing Fuzzy Caterpillar, and they gave me this look, and they wouldn't do it. But when went to the butterfly thing, they would do the butterfly. Come to find out, finally, one of the young ones it was speak English, said, well, we eat caterpillars. Okay, so Fuzzy Caterpillar is not a song I'm going to sing again if I go back. Also, when we were leaving, there was a single mother said she was trying to make money, and she had this Ziploc bag of dried caterpillars she wanted to know if we'd like to buy. And Kathy and I both went, no, thank you. I mean, we know she needed the money, but I'm sorry. And the kids also told us about how good, and also Lawrence that went with us, how good that termites are. No, thank you.
This is not our regular diet, by the way. This is not what we eat when we're there, okay?
I have a lot to say, and some of it, but we wore these little things called, little name tags, and mine just said Mary USA. So Kirk took us to the grocery store. I'm about out of time. I'm sorry. I have a lot to tell you. I won't tell you that story because I have a few other things I want to do. One thing that when we were at the services, they would sing most of their songs in Zulu or Afrikaans. And by the third verse, we would finally figure out the tune. But then we never sing the third and fourth verses usually. And so we couldn't sing along anyway because we couldn't do that. Then the dorms, I know he's going to talk about that. The dorms, they're okay, guys, but they're pretty plain. They need a little bit of help. They haven't been updated. this is something Kurt didn't, he did not realize. But you know, in the women's side of the dorm room, they do not have mirrors in the dorms, in their rooms. They had mirrors in the bathroom, but they're like the British. There's no plugs in the bathroom. So no hair dryers or anything in the bathroom, but no mirrors in the room. I know men don't think that's a big deal, but we women do, don't we? Uh, I just want to tell a couple of little things and then my time is up. South Africa loves KFC. Kentucky Fried Chicken is on every corner. We're not kidding. That's one of their favorite things. There were some McDonald's, but other things, but it was mainly KFC. Another thing that they really did like was, they like Coke and Dr. Pepper and ginger beer. Kind of. That was a big deal. No Dr. Pepper if you're kind of like me. Tea time was important, but the kids, they would eat, the students, they would take like 4 slices of this white bread that was kind of like, anyway. And they ate things called Melly Pop, and my time is up, and I have so much I wanted to tell you. But I would love to ask anybody have a question. I'd love to talk to you about it, and thank you. I loved it.